What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Drums and Drams. My name's Cameron, and today we are live for another one of these blind whiskey reviews here on the channel. You guys know how this works by now. I've got my blind mystery sample box over here. I'm going to reach over and grab a couple mystery samples. We will dispel the rumors of any pre-planned reviews here. That's a nice way of saying cheating. And we'll mix them up on the table just a little bit. And I'm going to randomly grab one of these samples. Let's go with this one. And we'll put the other ones back. So, as I get this poured out, I'm going to remind you guys that I can't show you on the screen what this is because we are live right now. This video will, live on here forever. I'll change the thumbnail at the end from the mystery thumbnail to what this ends up actually being. But because I can't put along the bottom of the screen what it is, I have to find the reveal card here, open it, and show you guys what's in here while I turn my head. Again, fully blind review, no bias going into this. Nose palate finish rating out of 100, all that kind of good stuff. And I still haven't pulled out duplicate samples of stuff that I've already reviewed unblind on the channel. So if we end up coming across today something like Birthday Bourbon 4 Roses LE or another bottle that I've already reviewed unblind, I'm going to pull a second sample and we're going to do a double review in this video because I want to get something original out there because I need to get my scores going. And last thing I want to say before we jump into this, before I find this reveal card here, is that in the description of every one of these review videos now, going back many, many months, I went back and inserted this into every one of the descriptions, you are going to find a link to the whiskey scores spreadsheet. So that's the next step, is now you can see all the scores that I've given this year and all the breaks that I took in my tasting as well. And I'm also going to try to find creative ways in videos, not on these live streams, to show you recent scores along with what I just scored, to try to show you maybe some comparisons or something in the moment. So let me find this reveal card really quickly. 3215 is the sample number here. And we are down to something like 65 blind samples. Here we go, 3215. And guys, I closed on my house today. So Sarah and I closed on the house. Pretty big day for us, just personally. So very excited about that. And excited to be doing this little pop-up blind. I wasn't planning on doing this tonight, but I'm like, you know what? We got some good news today. We closed on the house. Let's jump on. Let's do a quick review, quick rating, all that kind of stuff. All right, so we have a few people hanging out in the live chat. I'm not going to do too much with the live chat because this video is going to be here, not as a stream, but really as a standalone review video. But it looks like Jason got his sample from me of the Wild Turkey Export Tribute from, I think, 20 or so years ago is when that came out. Epic bottle. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. So let's go to the nose and see what we get here. All right, so first impression, high octane whiskey, very intense. A little bit of like a melon note in here. So some sort of like melon, grapefruit, cantaloupe kind of fruit, but also a good bit of an oak spice / caramel backbone to the whiskey overall. So lighter fruits, but also a nice oak presence. It's not like an aged oak presence on the nose here. It's more of just like kind of down the middle, medium oak. I know that doesn't seem super descriptive, but this whiskey is also not super descriptive on the nose so far. The most differentiating factor right now is this kind of melon thing that's going on with the profile. And again, I'm going to give you my first impressions before I open this card up and show you guys what it is so that you can really know that there was no way that I knew what was going on here. All right, and then the other thing I'm going to talk about here before I get this onto the palate is that I'm getting a little like powdered sugar donut thing. And that's much more in the background of whatever this whiskey is. It's definitely not in the foreground. So I would say primary note, we're talking melon, we're talking cantaloupe, we're talking grapefruit kind of fruit notes. Underneath it, kind of a just down the middle medium oak, but spicy oak with some caramelized kind of notes. And then underneath all of that, in the way background is like that powdered sugar vibe. So there we go. Let's get this on the palate now. Yeah, it's a lively whiskey. Very bubbly and effervescent. It's almost like drinking LaCroix or something. You know, I don't remember all the different LaCroix flavors, Yeah, really. I mean, this has even like a little like lime kind of note to it. Lime and melon and all these light effervescent fruits. I do kind of like that. It's different. It's maybe not something I'm going to reach for all the time, but let me show you guys what this is. And I always have, when I have Sarah make these envelopes, it should be that if I look down right now, I'm not going to see it. It should be that I see the numbers. Okay, we're good. I see the numbers here. So I'm going to pull it out for you guys, the reveal card. Don't clip that. All right, I'm going to cover my eyes here. I'm going to hold this up. Please no spoilers in the chat, but this is what I'm tasting right now. I'll give you 3, 2, 1. We're going to put this down, move it off to the side here. We're going to carry on with the review. Okay, so as I go back to the nose now, the tropical fruit is definitely still there, but it's kind of blowing off a little bit. And now I'm getting more of, people have heard me say this note before, it's my own version of a caramel kind of note, but like boozy caramel sauce. So it's like you have some sort of dessert, and you have caramel drizzle, but it's like an alcoholic caramel drizzle. I'm getting a lot more of that now on the nose. All right, back to the palate. Thank you guys for the nice words about the closing. All right, second sip. Yeah, it's so strange, almost like lime salt on the palate, but there's still there's still depth to the whiskey, but it's just got so much of this lighter tropical thing going on here, and it's so effervescent on the palate. I think I like this whiskey. Totally like stumped as to what this could be. Like in some ways it feels like a finished rye, you know, like I think of all these tropical fruits and it makes me think of, I don't know, some sort of finished rye, I guess. I mean, tropical makes you always think rum. It could be a different kind of finish too. I don't even know if this is finished. It doesn't matter one way or the other. What matters is just, you know, is this whiskey good or not? What is the rating? What's the review? All right, one more sip. It's pretty darn good. It's so not what I would normally reach for, you know? In the same way that buff turkey is not what I reach for. It's like, I can appreciate a great barrel of buff turkey, but I never think to myself, man, I really want to go drink some buff turkey right now. Like, that's a very rare occasion that I ever think that to myself. Let me very quickly, we are live. I'm trying to keep this video under, 12 or so minutes, but we're 8 minutes in. I'm going to grab this Eagle Rare 12, always my warm-up pour here. I'm just going to have a sip of this, recalibrate my palate, go back to this for one more sip, then I'm going to wrap this up, give you the rating and all that stuff. All right. Wow. The Eagle Rare is 95 proof. Always my starter. I can get locked in on that. So soft in comparison to whatever this whiskey is. I go back to this whiskey on the nose. Now I'm getting like, kind of like a, it's almost like a slightly overripe strawberry. You know when strawberries start to get a little bit, soft and kind of gooey almost? That's starting to come through on the nose now. So it's getting a little deeper for me. And I think that's what I've said about this whiskey throughout this review so far. It starts by kind of jarring your system on, on the nose, tropical fruits, all this, but you sense other stuff in the background. As you take a second sip, tropical fruits blow off a little bit and you're really diving into that like boozy caramel kind of like core note to the whiskey. Then as I've reset on the Eagle Rare, I come back to this. Now you get this little bit of overripe strawberry in here. And it feels even a little bit darker for me. So let's see. Again, not my profile, but the way that this drinks, it's got a great amount of spice to it. It's never overbearing on the palate, and it's very consistent. There's a nice little ramp up, and the finish is long and very spicy. It's not the most it doesn't have the most presence necessarily, the most richness on the palate, But if this did have a very high level of richness to it, I think I would give this a pretty massive score, because everything else, like, it checks all the boxes. Just because the profile itself is not really my jam, I think I'm gonna be in the low to mid 80s for this whiskey. So I've got to do one more sip. The crazy part is, this could be a high rye bourbon, could be a rye, could be a finished rye, could be a lot of things. Okay, there's some sourness here, kind of like a puckering, like melon candy kind of note. I'm gonna give this whiskey today maybe slightly the benefit of the doubt, but also I think it's a pretty fun whiskey to drink. I have no, like, absolutely no guess as to what this is. I'm gonna give this whiskey, and I'm always like, am I gonna regret this? I'm gonna go 83. Let's get it right there. 83 out of 100. All right, let's see what this is. Okay, so very cool. K. Luke Toasted Rye Batch 5, 117 proof. I think 83 is a great score for this. I even think, I don't know. I mean, I think some people are going to absolutely love this toasted rye. So I've already reviewed K. Luke batches 11 and 12. 11 I reviewed on a live stream. I did shoot a video. That video was with the old cameras. I ended up never editing it. I felt bad about it, but I know I talked about it on a live stream. But then I reviewed batch 12. That video came out a few days ago, I think last Thursday. And in that video I said, I cannot wait to get to the toasted rye, because I think the toasted rye is great. Today really proved that for me. 83 out of 100. I think some people would have this, for their own rating scales or whatever, up to like 86, 87, because I think it's a really nice rye. I like the fact that, I'm gonna pour a little bit more here actually. Hit that like button if you haven't already, please. What I like about this whiskey is that I really didn't know, and I feel like I'm a bloodhound for toasted products because I usually hate toasted products. But when I tasted this unblind, whenever the sample was sent to me, shout out to K. Luke, this was sent, free of charge. When I was sent the sample, I was like, this doesn't really have, it's not an abrasive amount of toasted feel to the whiskey. And all of those impressions I feel like carried over today. Now, I didn't realize that it had so much of that like melon and tropical fruit note with it. I did feel like maybe there was some finishing going on, but that was not a fruit finish or a rum finish or anything. It was a toasted finish. And so I think with these toasted ryes, in particular from K. Luke, I think they do an inordinately good job, or an unusually good job of balancing these things out. Whatever they're doing with the blending or the toast level in the barrels themselves, how long they're finishing it, whatever the case may be, I think this is really, really solid stuff. So one more sip now before we wrap up. Now that I know it's toasted, I can certainly pick that up a little bit. I think that's where that boozy kind of caramel note is coming from. The toast is accentuating the caramel aspect of the whiskey, but you maintain so much of the great parts of the underlying rye that I think this is a great product. 83. If you look at other 83s and other things in this score range for me versus SRPs, you're probably gonna find that this K. Luke is slightly overpriced for what I would normally give an 83 out of 100. Even so, I think this is a great option on the market. I definitely wouldn't want to pay over for it, but I think SRP on this is like 110, 120, something in that range. Absolutely, for me, it's a buy. I think it's a really, really great bottle. So that's going to do it, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below if you've tried this one. And that's going to do it. Cheers, and I'll see you next time here on Drums and Drams.